Our next guest joining us at the Business of Data Festival will be sharing best practices for engineering data security from explosive growth startups. Eldad, it's lovely to see you. How are you doing?
I'm good, Catherine. How are you?
I am very good. And I tell you what, I am so excited to be talking about data security operations. Here at Corinium, we obviously work in the wonderful world of business of data. We also work in the wonderful world of infosec security. So I feel like this conversation is going to combine those worlds for me, which I'm very excited to have with you. And I think let's start out there. I think for the benefit of the audience and myself as well, let's go for a definition. For you, what does data security operations mean, and why do we need it?
Absolutely. That's a great question, and super excited to be here and talk about data SecOps with you. So maybe I'll start with a bit of a background. So we're coming from the cybersecurity space, right? We were involved in all sorts of companies, startups, and public companies, really focusing on application security. I'm talking about 10, 15 years ago, where there was this explosion of applications moving to the cloud. And then companies were hitting all these operational challenges when they had to scale, and DevSecOps evolved, really this methodology of how do I streamline security operations for my application. And when we started Satori in 2019, we started seeing the same happening with data. Companies are moving their data to the cloud. There's a huge business initiative around that. And then as they're doing so, they enjoy all these benefits of the cloud, and they can store more data, and they can analyze more data, and they can develop more products and insights on top of that data. But then as they do that in scale, they're starting to feel these friction points around operations. Data operations as a whole could be quality, it could be cataloging, but especially around security, compliance, and privacy, these are really hard to solve manual problems that is inhibiting their growth. And we saw the same pattern, right? We saw this happening with applications moving to the cloud and now with data. And we said, okay, we need a new methodology. It's not just a new technology. It's not just a new feature. Companies need to rethink how they operate security on the data environment as they did for the applications. And that is data SecOps. So, data SecOps is a methodology that allows companies to streamline these operational challenges around security, compliance, and privacy for their growing data infrastructure. And if people in the audience are data platform owners, data engineers, VPs of data, and they're now in this scaling phase of the data infrastructure in the cloud, they know what I'm talking about, and they're feeling that friction, and they should look at data SecOps as their way to address that and become a business enabler for their data projects.
Well, I love how you've just ended that answer. The business enabler is something that we're hearing so much of. It's not a case of doing things for things' sake. It is about the value and enabling the business to do what they want, because I think it's fair to say previously there has been this rhetoric that security, regulation, anything like that, governance, that's another one. If you start talking about that, the business gets a bit worried that means no innovation, can't do this, the department of no, where actually I think what you've done there really well is frame it that actually this is going to enable you to be successful, at the same time mitigate risk, be more efficient, and obviously you're not going to lose out a load of money if you do have a breach of data, which is something, again, we all want to be avoiding. Now, obviously it's Satori Cyber, you have your platform as well, and I'd be keen to know some of the key capabilities of your software.
Absolutely, and it's a really good question, because people sometimes get confused, and when they hear about security, so they're kind of intimidated, and B, security is so many things. So we kind of broke down the different things you would need as a data platform owner to really get it right. and we combine them into one platform. So you're not dealing with 5 or 6 different solutions, but you're actually having an end-to-end solution where you can actually streamline all these security operations. So the first thing, and this is, everyone would tell you, you need to understand your data. You need to classify your data. You understand, where is my sensitive data, whether that's personal data like PII or healthcare data or financial data. If you don't know where your data is, where your sensitive data is, you can't really do anything about that. So that's a key piece of the Satori platform and a key piece of data security operations. The unique aspect of Satori in this area, beyond combining multiple capabilities, is the fact that it does that continuously. That is, again, this data SecOps methodology. You don't do things once. It's not a waterfall kind of operations. You want to be always streamlined into the normal data operations. So we do classification continuously and help companies understand where the data is. Number 2, there's when you kind of go up in the maturity curve, you start seeing use cases where there's all these people within the organization. They want to get access to the data, but there's different levels of data they are authorized to get access to. For example, a data analyst might be able to access the customer table, but maybe the social security numbers should not be presented. That is where capabilities like masking come in, the ability to tailor the data to the specific use case, to the specific data consumer authorization level. And that is kind of the second level of capability, masking and really data transformation based on the company's policy. The third thing, which is, again, a more advanced capability, more maturity, is really granular access controls. These are cases where you have different people within the organization that need to access different parts of the data. The classic example is around GDPR, the European privacy laws, where you want to make sure, for example, that a US employee, while they have access to the customer table, they should not be able to access European citizen data because that's violation of the laws. So that's really, really hard to achieve if you don't have something like Satori, but we provide it as a key capability within the platform. And then the other maturity level around access control is really, this is really where you change the game and where you can provide a different user experience for your data consumer. My personal take with this is, eventually, if data is hard to get to, it's going to be very hard for you as a business to be data-driven, to build data-driven products, and to grow data infrastructure. But if you make data the path of least resistance and make it really easy to access data, that's where things are going to happen really faster, and you're going to be able to benefit your data much more. So around that, we provide customized data access workflows. So forget about waiting 3 weeks for security to approve a data access request. Forget about all these cumbersome data engineering processes required to authorize someone into the data platform. Think about something that is easy, it's streamlined, like Dropbox or like Google Docs, which are really our inspirations for this. And you can take someone from not having access to have authorized audited secured access in minutes. And then finally, the last capability is around auditing, compliance, and reporting, which is key core requirements in any security operation. So just to summarize, classification, data discovery, masking, granular access controls, data access workflows, and then in an environment that's monitored, audited with strong reporting is what the platform provides.
Amazing. And what I love, Eldad, is what you've done is tapped into the human psyche. We do not like friction when it comes to doing things. I mean, I know very often if you talk to a personal trainer, they suggest you put your running shoes by your bed and you literally have to fall over them and it makes you go out for a run. Because if you have to go into the cupboard and find them, you're probably not going to get out on that run because you're going to find every excuse. And I think that's such a great comparison to what you're talking about with data, that if it's really hard to get your hands on it, you're not going to use it. So if you can enable your business users to have really, really easy access, but safe access as well, they're going to use it more. And therefore, you're going to get more data-driven insights, which is a win-win. but it's only by removing that friction. Now, I'm always keen for folk like yourself who are in a unique position to talk about the market wider, because you have many people come and chat to you and work with you from many industries. Well, I'm keen to know just that. Who is coming to work alongside you at Satori? What industries are really finding value in the work that you can do together?
Amazing. And I love to talk about our customers, and I love to be an enabler for their success. Think about like any technology-oriented hyper-growth company. The market is exploding. COVID had a lot of obvious disadvantages, but one of the things that happened is that digital companies, technology-driven companies have done amazing. We have companies and customers from the technology sectors, like technology unicorns, like, for example, ActiveCampaign. It's an amazing business. They're growing like crazy. They serve hundreds of thousands of businesses in 170 countries. So you can just imagine their data platform and the dedication they have to securing that data and how important that is for them. But again, business outcomes come first. It's really easy to secure data if you just block anyone from accessing it, but that is not a viable solution. So that's a great example of a company that is not trying to kind of cap or hold the growth by putting all these constraints, but actually using DataSecOps in the Satori platform to be able to accelerate. Within technology, obviously, there's specific industries that are very, very interested in something like Satori, and we have really, really great partnership. One is Fintechs, another one is health tech. Both of these fields are, again, exploding. Amazing companies. On the fintech side, for example, one of our customers is Wealthsimple. That is the largest fintech in Canada. Again, a lot of sensitive data, hyper growth company, take data security really, really seriously, but again, do not want to inhibit growth and scale. And there's a great partnership with the data engineering team and the data platform owners, and basically allowing them to move from a relatively open kind of data access mindset into something that is more need-to-know basis, very organized, monitored, controlled, and audited, so they can rest assured that the data is secure and the business can grow the data platform in an easy way. And then on the health tech side, one of our customers is Innovaccer. That's another unicorn in the health tech industry. They have a very, very complex data environment with multiple types of data stores and multiple types of environments. And having Satori as a universal layer that addresses the data security requirements across all these platforms from one single pane of glass is a big benefit for them. And I must say we're fortunate to have these amazing customers using Satori in scaling the data infrastructure alongside keeping the data secure.
Amazing. Now, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say that there are many solutions in the market when it comes to data security and governance. Just looking on LinkedIn, I can think of a few. So when it comes to your customers, why are they choosing to engage with you with data security ops at Satori compared to other traditional solutions that are out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. There are many solutions. It is a very much needed solution within a growing company. There's a couple of things that kind of from the get-go we know they're going to be important, and we did not see out there in other solutions. One is the notion of universality. Every company has multiple data repositories. It's not only one. And not only that, they change them every once in a while, for a couple of years. I mean, Snowflake is now on the rise, but before Snowflake, it was Redshift. And I assure you, there's going to be more new platforms coming up. And usually you keep a few of them. Now, if you need to manage security and implement access control over each data platform separately, that is really hard. And that is just duplicating the effort. It really inhibits its scale. So Satori, being a universal platform, basically being agnostic to the data platform, providing the same capabilities, the same user experience, the same single pane of glass over all the data platform is a big plus. And companies, again, like Innovaccer chose Satori because we can address all the data platforms. The second one, which is many times overlooked by startups, is ease of use. This is, again, we're talking about businesses that want to grow. We're talking about groups that are very, very busy, and they have a roadmap that is filled with all sorts of requirements. They need something they can plug in easily, get the value, and scale, and then evolve. They start with one maturity level, they go to step 2, they go to step 3, they can grow with it. So we built Satori where basically you can implement it without changing almost anything in your infrastructure. From the get-go, we said it has to be easy. No changes to the data consumer experience, no changes to queries, no changes to data, no changes to database configuration. Just drop it in. And we had companies with hundreds of analysts onboarding the platform in days and starting getting the security value immediately and then growing. So that's kind of number 2. And number 3 is just the completeness of the offering. You have solutions that are very good in classification, but do not implement policies. You have solutions that have great policies, but do not audit and monitor. And again, around the same kind of notion of ease of use, nobody wants to manage 6 different solutions just for data security. Life is complex enough to add 6 more solutions. So being able to address all of that in one platform, again, that's universal and easy to use, that's a big benefit for our customers. That's something you cannot find with other platforms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're definitely speaking to a number of pain points in the audience. I could just feel them going, oh, yes, I agree, as they wrangle together so many various platforms. Now, we've probably got a chance for one last question, and I am keen, given we're in January 2022, I would like to get your thoughts on where you think the trends are going for 2022 in relation to data breaches and data security in particular. Any kind of predictions or comments you might make there?
Yeah, I'll make some educated predictions. I'm not the oracle, but I'll try. So what we're seeing is data is moving to the cloud. I think companies like Snowflake and Amazon and Azure, GCP did an amazing job in getting companies comfortable in putting their data in the cloud and realizing the big business value. So we're going to see that, and with that, more sensitive data is going to move to the cloud. So the perimeter of the companies around data and where the risk is going to be in the cloud. That's number 1. And with that, I think 2 things are going to happen. The whole notion of employees accessing data and the risk associated with that, I think that's going to be a big thing, and that's going to create exposure with companies. Eventually, if you're a data-driven company, data democratization, data sharing is an ultimate goal for you. And if you overlook security, that's going to also become your biggest risk. More people accessing data is more business value, but it's more risk. And again, I think that's going to be a big thing in 2022, and then companies are going to look to solve that. And number 3, attackers are smart. They identify weak links, and they see this as well. They see the personal data moving to the cloud. They see the fact that more people within the organization access the data, so they're going to target that. And we saw what happened with Robinhood and similar cases where it's not the attacker attacking data directly, but through someone internal that has overprivileges. That is the way they got access to the data. So I think those are kind of the 3 main trends I would see and I would predict for next year.
Amazing. Well, I'm going to have to book in an interview in 12 months' time and reel those back to you. We'll see.
Let's write them down and come back to them in 12 months. I agree.
Amazing. Well, thank you for joining me today and taking the time to talk about a very exciting topic. And I look forward to catching up with you very soon.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the audience. If you want to learn more about Satori, please visit our website at satoricyber.com. And thank you so much, Catherine, for the great question, the great discussion. Really enjoyed it.